Another great interview segment from the Racing Insiders show.
We haven't talked about the real realities here, and that's fans. If we could put fans in the seats, they're the ones that are going to buy the tickets. The only man who stepped up and actually sold tickets to fans in the Super GT context is a friend of mine, Rany Grube. He's a promoter. He did it in 2004 in a thing called GT Live. He bought the predecessor to Super GT, JGTC, to California, had some success. He doesn't think, though, that this licensing agreement is the way to work. Let's listen to Rany Grube.
No, it has to be the real thing, or it's not going to work. I mean, the reason people were so interested in coming to the GT Live event is because it was the first time the real thing had ever been here. I mean, we did surveys on all the ticket buyers, and from 49 out of the 50 states, the only state where we didn't have a ticket buyer from was it was either North or South Dakota, one of those two. So we pulled everybody that wanted to do this and see this out of the woodwork because it was the real thing. And I think, the other thing too is if you look at a racing product, there's two types of racing products. There's the racing product that has the drivers as stars, and there's the racing product that has the cars as stars. And very rarely do you have both. And at the time, we brought the most desirable cars as seen from a youth audience to the United States. And if you don't bring the real thing, if you do a licensing deal and you start building Buicks and Cadillacs and Chevrolets that aren't driven in Germany and they aren't driven in Japan, and I just don't see how that's going to work.
Leave it to a promoter to really understand what's going on. He's got to sell the tickets. The manufacturers can put the cars out there, but he's got to sell the tickets. Peter, what do you think about what Rany Grube had to say?
Well, I kind of agree with what he had to say, but he kind of had a one-off deal there. I mean, to promote it as a series, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, I think that, there is a camp in this country that thinks technology is the way to go. The cars are the stars. That's kind of been ALMS's model, but I mean, that hasn't really been that successful. So it's a tough sell. Is a one or two off, like we said, if we just did, maybe Coda and Montreal, yeah, but I kind of agree with him. I think it's a tough sell. It's going to be hard to be a series.
What do you think about it, Jim?
Well, I think that he's spot on regarding the cars are the drivers, and the problem with American road racing now is we don't have either one. So I think that there is, if Grand Am and the brass would not be grabbing for whatever series they could grab, if they didn't think that they are close to finding some sort of niche to energize a fan base. And what you're seeing, we've not had that right now. I know Scott Pruitt's of the world, the Randy Post of the world are famous within our little group. But these other guys are international stars, are famous globally. And I think that the Grand Am guys would like for our road race stars to be famous globally.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV every Thursday at 2 and 5 o'clock Eastern, and again on Saturdays at 12:30 midday.